Hello my dears, and welcome to my channel. As always, I am very happy and grateful that you've chose to spend your time with me, and the ways you can support my channel: like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe so I can appease the mighty algorithm and be seen by more people, or click the notification bell when you want to be notified of when a new video comes out. And I hope that you are all doing well. If not, I do hope things will get better for you soon. But in the meantime, join me in meeting the Moodie's Tarot. And this was a Kickstarter deck that I recently received. You can purchase this deck in Isak's Etsy store, and I will link that in the description below, and I will also link the website of his. And this deck was created by Isak Andres, and the tuck box height is almost 5 inches across, is 3.25, and the width is 1 1/4. And it does have the title on all of the sides, which I really love. And let's go ahead and unfortunately I do not know Spanish, so I can't tell you what this all means, but the QR code will connect you to the website. And on the website it has an online guidebook. It is also in English, so you can get either version, Spanish or English. And I did print out a guidebook with all of the meanings just for the purposes of this video. And this is the same QR code, and it just says that the English version is on the web, and just a little QR code you can use. And the back of the card shows you the back of the little tuck box card again. But with if you're working with reversals, if you're paying really good attention to them, they will be revealed. But if not, I don't think they'll be really revealed. It kind of looks the same. Maybe the eyeball might give it away, the little circle thing, but other than that, if you're really looking, you'll probably miss it. All right, so I will be doing a side-by-side comparison because this is a tarot deck. In all of my tarot decks, I do a side-by-side comparison with a Rider-Waite traditional deck, so you can get kind of an idea of the differences and the similarities. And if you're curious, I will be using this particular Rider-Waite deck. It is the Radiant, and you can check this out at US Game Systems if you're really interested. And I didn't realize a few things when I backed this Kickstarter, and that is one of the things that you have to be careful about when you do back a Kickstarter. I just thought it was a curious deck. I didn't really do a lot of research on it, but it's an okay deck. It might appeal to you, I don't know, but it's a personal thing. So the all of the titles, the major arcana, are in Spanish, and there are numbers, and you can probably get an idea as we go along. The illustrations, you can probably pick it up from the illustrations what the card is. But let's go ahead and look at this deck, and you will be introduced to Moodie, who is this guy right here, and it is his journey. So let's go ahead and check his journey out. And in this deck, it follows the pre-Rider-Waite Smith. And what that means is that justice and strength are switched. So usually justice is the 11th card, and strength, justice is the 11th card, and strength is 8. But in this deck, the justice is 8 and strength is 11. Okay. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the deck or anything like that. It was just a change that Waite made when he started making his decks. And in this deck, the Death card does not have a title. And I would not consider this a good beginner's deck. Because if you're not familiar with Spanish, I mean, you can always learn Spanish, but if you're not, it's going to take you some time to learn it. And I mean, it shouldn't be too hard to learn the titles of it. But it is a pip deck, and I unfortunately didn't do more investigation before I got the deck, because I am not a fan of pip decks. I mean, not to say not to buy it, I would never tell anybody not to buy a deck, but if you are not a fan of pip decks, you will not be a fan of this deck. Alright, so that is the Major Arcana, and so next we are going to be going into the suns, which are wands. Okay. And if you're unfamiliar with what a pip deck is, this is basically a pip deck. It just has the suit, whatever it is, if they change the suit, and the number of it, of how many there are. It's very minimal illustrations. And I always try to look at pip decks as to be on the positive side. It's a good way to learn numerology, and you can also use numerology in the tarot, because tarot should cover it. as part as learning it. And that's one of the positive ways I look at pip decks. If I'm going to put a positive spin on it. Okay, so court cards. Next, we have some balls, and those are representing the cups. So there's not much to it. Court cards. All right, and then we have keys to represent the swords. Oops. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I really wanted to like this deck, but I don't want to discourage anybody from getting a deck. I would never do that. But for me, yeah, if if I would have just investigated a little bit further, I would have passed on this one, backing it in Kickstarter. But, you know, yeah, I don't think there's anybody out there that hasn't had the experience of buying a deck and then you get it and you're like, ugh, why did I buy that one? And unfortunately, this is mine. I mean, I love Moodie. I love that. I love the moon guy. But the other factors I guess the best way I could do it just turned me off to the deck. And I could still work with it. I don't. just get rid of a deck just because I don't connect with it at that time. Because I have had a lot of decks that I've bought, and I just shelved it. And then I looked at it and said, one day, and I picked it up and I started working with it at that time. That's why I don't like to rehome decks or get rid of them, because other than space, and if you want to resell your deck because you need some money, I can understand that. But my personal thing is I don't like to get rid of a deck because I don't connect with it at that time, or I don't like it at that time. Not to say that you won't like it in the future, but that's just my view on it. All right, so we have the Stars for Pentacles. And that's okay if you disagree with me and you have a different view, but everybody has their own perspective on things, and that's okay. All right, and that is the deck. And I pulled this off the website, and it's a little background, and I think it was with the guidebook, but it says Moodie's Tarot has been created by Isak Andres and inspired by the Marseille Tarot, respecting the graphic representation of characters through their positions, direction, and color, but it also contains its own symbology, which describes and reinforces the message of each archetype. Moodie is the main character who reveals each of the energies expressed in the different representation cards of the arcana, major and minor, accompanying us on the journey that is being described, and that explains to us with its order, logic, and mystery, and the history of this mystical path that symbolizes the tarot. And Isak says that he chose to characterize Moodie through the representation of the moon because in our daily life it is the celestial body that transits our sky every day in a continuous pilgrimage through the different zodiacal energies, which are also recognized and expressed in the archetypes of the tarot. Its name, Moodie, makes clear reference to the changes of mood and states of mind, mood in English, that the daily passage of the moon energetically implies through the different signs of the zodiac. In addition, as you can see in the cards, Moodie never has the same face despite always representing the same character, thus referring to the different phases or faces of the moon and differentiating the different archetype characters. Below, you can access the respective galleries of the major and minor arcana, which each card contains a small explanatory text. So I got this off the website, and it kind of explains a little bit of background and I copied out the guidebook what I could. It's online. You can't purchase one. So basically I had to copy and paste a lot of stuff off the website. So this is basically that's all it is on the website. It's a nice website. I like it. But basically it's online. You have to go to the website and it just gives you a little paragraph of each thing, and it's just meanings. And we will go ahead and do card and read off a meaning. So the cards are very flexible, very, very bendy flexible. As you can see, very bendy. These are one of the bendiest cards I've ever come across. Very, very bendy. All right, and you can do, oh geez. You can do the overhand shuffle. These, you think you can do, yeah, the side shuffle will be a little bit difficult. I don't understand why it's not as bendy on the sides, but it is what it is. And then you can spread them out and then pick whatever cards that way too, depending on your style and everything. And there is no right or wrong way to shuffle. Alright, so let's put one of these cards. Okay, so this is upright because this key is upright. It's hard, yeah. It's got it a revert, yeah. It's just a weird deck. That's the okay. So we've got 5, 6, 7 of swords, and this is what it looks like in the standard. So let's go ahead and look at the swords and see what. Alright. And they also do have the Spanish title of the card. Okay, so the Seven of Swords is an energy that evokes theft, deceit, and lies. When it appears, it can warn you of hidden activities, comments made behind your back, secrets that can lead to infidelity or breach of trust. When the Seven of Swords appears, you must pay attention to the intentions of those around you in relation to you. And there's no reversal meanings to it. It's just one paragraph. So yeah, it is what it is. So pretty much that's about it for what I have for this deck. Let me know what you think of it. It is an interesting deck. I will say that much for it. So if you did purchase it, I'd really like to hear about it. If that's a hard no for you, I totally understand. I'd like to hear about that as well. But once again, thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope that you will join me with a future video. But until next time, take care and goodbye, my dears.